Hi, my name is Nick Macklin, and I'm arguing on the affirmative side of this issue. And I'm gonna reinforce and everything that Julian has said, but I'm also gonna refute a lot of things that Ash had to say about our claims. To start off, we're gonna go with the significance. His dismissal of basically the U.S. needing to intervene bugs me, and the fact that he doesn't think that someone should intervene bugs me, because I'm a military veteran, and that's what I've done in the past, and I've had success doing it, and there's history of success doing it. On multiple occasions, the Syrian government has killed hundreds of civilians at a time, and oftentimes has killed more civilians than the Islamic State. Between January and July, Assad's military and pro-government militias killed 7,894 people, while the Islamic State killed 1,131, according to the Syrian Network for Human Rights, a monitoring group based in Britain. Now, Ash was just saying that he doesn't want more civilians dying because of our intervention, but if we don't intervene with their government, there's already more civilians dying than ISIS representatives. Obviously, with the evidence that was just provided, along with what Julian has already provided, an Assad regime victory would be disastrous, which Ash did not dispute there, which means that there has to be an intervention. The opposition has already agreed that a victory for the regime would not be good, so I don't know why they're not agreeing that we need to intervene. The Islamic State not only wants war, but they want war on a global scale. The negative has already stated that ISIS wants to take over the world by 2020. The only way that they can do that would be to attack the superpowers of the world, which the negative has already pointed out the U.S. as being. If we don't send ground troops to Syria, we will wind up fighting ISIS on our soil. Moving on to the inherency issue. The United States' current policy is ineffective. There is a massive refugee issue that amasses over 2 million total refugees. Bringing a grand total of 70,000 refugees to our country will hardly put a dent in it, which is the American current policy as long as it passes. If we really want to help these people, we need to free them from the oppression that they face in their homeland. This war, throughout its duration, has already claimed over 250,000 lives and has wounded many more than that. It has displaced families from their homes and has sent them fleeing for their lives. After 127 airstrikes in just a 24-hour period by regime helicopters and planes, a spokesperson said in Britain, the U.S. and other international leaders that claim to defend human rights must work harder to stop crimes against humanity being committed daily in Syria. If we're going to be that big brother that Ash was talking about, we need to follow up with action too. This is just one voice, but millions feel the same way. We have always acted like the big brother to countries who could not fight for themselves, so why would we turn our back now? This cry for help from the United States, or for the United States, and as a proud yes veteran, I would be ashamed if we ignored it. He brought up how much we've spent in aid relief. I believe he said $6.6 billion. We've spent $17 trillion over the war on terrorism that we're still currently in. If we decide to continue just funding, all right, sorry. If we just do the same thing, we're gonna have the same result. He said that it hasn't been working in the past, so if we're gonna only just keep putting money into aid, which I think we still need to do, but that can't be the only solution, which is what he was saying. We need to be able to be there to back him up. He was bringing up that it hasn't worked in the past, and he specifically pointed out Vietnam. I'll bring your attention to the Tet Offensive, which was supposed to be a time period in the Vietnam War that was a ceasefire, and the Vietnamese wound up doing a surprise attack on over 100 villages. And initially, The death toll was staggering, and there was a huge loss of life, and it seemed that that was basically be the victory for the Vietnamese. While we did lose the war, we won this battle by using joint forces with both the Vietnamese and U.S. military, and suppressed the onslaught in all 100 villages. Only 2 villages actually took longer to take back, but they wound up taking back all 100 villages within the 2-month period, but most of them were handled within hours. That victory in that battle helped call the ceasefire for the Vietnam War. So in the past, it has helped. Our plan, moving on to solvency, our plan is to equip and support the DFS. They are the most effective partner against ISIS, as they want a democratic nation. Our country always makes the mistake to turn governments who do not want to become democratic nations into democrats. If we're going to continue to give assistance, wouldn't it be prudent for us to work alongside like-minded individuals instead of crazy people like Assad? We're already giving assistance in some way, shape, or form, and we're not going to stop doing that all of a sudden. That has implications for both us with our allies over there, and also with Russia as well, if we're just pull out. So we're going to continue to give assistance. Let's see. I have a quote here from John Davidson from Business Insider. And the total forces of the DFS had since they formed in October, so we're only looking at about a month of them actually working together. They've already reclaimed 1,362 square kilometers and took in 112 ISIS group prisoners in the southern part of Hasaka province in the northeast. He continued on saying, Hasaka was the first declared operation by the DFS, which joins together a U.S.-backed Kurdish militia and several Syrian Arab rebel groups since it announced its formation earlier this month. My time's over.